Tractate Bava Batra. Today, Baruch Hashem, we begin on the perush VE, the 7th chapter. We are mainly dealing with Dinei Mekach Umimkar, the law of business or merchant commerce, buying, selling. But Agav Orcha, by the way, we learn also several important Hilchot Brachot, such as we just finished Pesach. There is a disputation about the karpas. What is a karpas and what's the proper bracha to make on karpas? Or the corn. In Israeli, you're buying a lot of Israeli products, or you see this nash, it's called bamba. It's made out of corn. The question is, what type of blessing, what type of bracha you make for that? Because there is a notion that it's a general bracha she'akol. There are others who say that it's based on corn, some type of nut, taste of nut, maybe adama. Anyway, we'll go there later. Here we are, the Mishnah, very end of 102b, and the main daf is 103. האומר לחברו בית קור עפר אני מוכר לך. Here we're dealing with a situation that, let's use name Reuven and Shimon. And Reuven said to Shimon, I'm selling you Beit Kor. A Beit Kor is a plot of earth, but because he add the word Afar, Afar is earth, which means that this is basically a plot that is good for planting. Neto lizri'ah, only for planting, not for plowing. Therefore, the whole structure is different. Why? Because if you have an earth that can bring out a 30 se'ah, 30 se'ah is basically the size of Beit Kor. Beit Kor, as we say, is a plot of earth. That's the size that's required for sowing 1 core of seed. So the moment he used that term, היו שם נקעים עמוקים 10 טפחים. All of a sudden, the buyer noticed that there is a crevices, which means that there is a holes in that piece of land. And the other way around can be too, which is oslaim gvohin 10 טפחים. All of a sudden you see a rock, huge rock that take a 10 handbreadth high. So they said, Einan nimdadim ima, lo kalul b'mecher, is not part of the sale. The seller needs to give him a total size of bet kur from that estate. Next, pachot mikan, if it was below than 10 טפחים, the 10 handbreadth, either by the depth or by height. So they said nimdadim ima, you basically take it as a measure together with the rest of the field. So the seller doesn't need to add, the Ritva explained, more to that estate. Ve'im amar lo keveit kor afar ani mocher lach. Now listen to the language. Every word the Rashbam said is crucial because he used the term ke. Ke is like in English you use it as is, regardless if it's a rock, slaim, or earth, if it's afar, regardless. So the moment he used the term ke with kaf, ke beit kor afar, afilu hayu sham nekaim amukim yoter me10 טפחים, even if it was there a crevices deeper than the size of 10 handbreadth, or slaim, or the rock within the estate is a high rock. You're buying a estate in Arizona or those rocky area, גבוהים יותר מ10 טפחים, heights exceeded 10 handbreadth, הרי אלו נמדדים עמה. You measure it together with the rest of the field. Now, in order to understand the upcoming Gemarrah, which is based on a Mishnah in Tractate Erkin, page 25, I would like to share with you just a vignette, a very little point when it's come to Hakdasha. Hakdasha meaning consecration of a state. in a simple language. We see today many organizations ask you, can you donate your car? Can you donate your home? Can you donate your estate for the non-profit organization? It's common in our society. Now, if you go back in time, it was in the biblical term called sde achuza. What is sde achuza? We know that our people left Egypt, we received the Torah, and then Joshua, the successor after Moshe Rabbeinu, after Moses, led the people to conquer the land. Right after they conquered the land, they divided the land to each and every section of the tribes. As you know, we have 2.5 tribes in the Jordan section, and the other tribes get in the land, excluding one tribe, the tribe of Levi, not inherited because they do the service in the temple. Since it's divided in each tribe, it's also subdivided to each and every family. With that said, that karka, that land, overet birusha, it's inherited from the grandfather, the father, the grandson, etc., etc. The Torah is very strict. The Torah makpida. The Torah is very strict that if you consecrated estate, meaning you take the estate and you decided to consecrate it for the purpose of the temple, you have to do pidyon karka, which means you have to redeem the estate by using the monetary value of the estate, and therefore you can use the estate for chulin, for whatever you need, since the estate already purchased or redeemed by cash. Now, the idea is, let's say you consecrate, you see this cup, let's say, no, you don't need to give it to me. Let's say you take this cup, and you said, this cup, I'm consecrated it for the purpose of the temple. So you take the value of that cup, it's a silver, so you use it as a kiddush cup, you value it for X amount, let's say $100, and you say that this, basically money, goes to the Beit HaMikdash, and you can use this cup. Now, with that said, sde achuza, meaning estate, physical land, physical estate, that was inherited by the successor after the generation of Joshua, those estates, the Torah is very strict to have a unified properties value, which means sde achuza mechir achid. It's one number, that's the value of sde achuza, which means in our modern days language, it's not the real current contemporary property value, but biblical value. Here we see a Mishnah in Tractate Arkin that tells us that if a person inherited from his father, forefather, ancestors, sde achuza, so at the time that it was Yovel, it's the circle of 7 times Shmitot, 7 times 7 reached the 49, which reached the beginning of the 50 years, it's called the Jubilee, the Yovel year. There is a condition that the most of the Am Israel, most of our people dwell in the land of Israel, and each tribe has their own nachala, their own estate. So he said, Beit Zera Chomer Seorim, which is the same size as mentioned in Mishnah, Beit Ku, that's basically Sadeh, it's a field that made 30 Seorim. So here let's see the text. Tnan Hatam. Here we're dealing with Sde Achuza, a state that was inherited in the land of Israel that was already consecrated. So he said, Hamakdish Sadeu Bishat Hayovel, which means that during that time that our people, the majority of our people, the Gemarrah in Erkin 32 said, dwell in the land of Israel. So when he come to redeem the estate, noten lo, he gives to the treasurer that involved with the temple, dealing with the consecrated property of the temple, he gives him the valued leveit zera chomer seorim 50 shekel kesef. He gives 50 silver shekels for every place that is fit for sowing a chomer of barley seed, which is the biblical equivalent of a core for all of the years of the Jubilee cycle, as this is sum fixed by the Torah for this purpose. You see more in Leviticus 27 verse 16. Now, the issue here within that field, היו שם נקעים עמוקים 10 טפחים, או סלעים גבוהים 10 טפחים, if that field contained those pieces within the estate that either have the depth or the heights that exceeded 10 handbreadth. Page 103, Ein nimdadin ima. They are not measured together with the rest of the field. So, pachot mikan nimdadim, less than that, it's measured. So, Tosfot, and you see the Rashbam, does not mean that is those nekaim or rocks are not taken into account at all. Rather, it means that they are redeemed according to the market value and not according to the fixed price by the Torah redeeming an ancestral field. Tosfot proves this from the halacha that stated that when one consecrated his field, even a pit within the field is consecrated. But not everyone goes along with that. You see the Rimigash, you see the Rambam, you see the Ramah that said that he keeps the rock and those nekaim without redeeming them at all, as they are not consecrated. So the Ramah explained that while they become consecrated as part of the field, they are not considered part of the field for the purpose of redemption. So they don't need to be redeemed separately. The Meiri offers a very similar explanation. So basically the idea here, you go by the shovi amiti, but the real value of the field, and you redeem it with the cash. So what we see so far, the Torah has mechir achid, have a unified value, but in this case you don't go there. Ve'amai. So the Gemara said, why you do that? Likdeshu be'apei nafshayhu. You should make it the value of the consecration independently. V'chitema kivan delo havei beit kur lo kadeshei v'atanya sadeh ma Talmud lomar לפי שנאמר זרע חומר סורים ב50 שקל כסף אין לי אלא שהקדיש בעלים בעניין הזה. מניין אני יודע, מניין לרבות לתך וחצי לתך, שאה תרכב וחצי תרכב. תלמוד לומר שדה מכל מקום. שדה מכל מקום meaning anytime, even a smaller plot. Another explanation, אמר רב עוקבא בר חמא, הכא בנקאים בלאימיים עסקינן דלאו בני זריעה נינו. Here we talk about those נקאים, the crevices that they are filled with water. And that's an important statement, they are not fit for sowing. So based on that, just I'm using it as a springboard, but you can use it in many other halachot. What are you doing with karpas? So there are those who mechaven doing the seder for the maror as well, and there are those notions who say that you should go by the idea of gidulei mayim, because you see all these companies, Bodek, Gush Katif, other harakim freeze companies that basically say that since it's gidulei mayim, since its growth on the water, you should not make the boreh pri ha'adama. Since it's not from the earth, from the ground itself, it's based on water, and therefore you should do shehakol nihiya bidvaro. It's a notion from both the late Rav Ovadia Yosef and also my teacher Reb Shlomo Zalman Auerbach. Both of them hold that the bracha in that sense of gidulei mayim is shehakol nihiya bidvaro. Now, not just that, there is a very serious discussion in the poskim. What do you do with a mixture? For example, pires, you're taking produce and you smash them and you serve those produce. So the Ben Ish Chai hold that one should say שהכל, מרן השולחן ערוך, the מחבר, said that שינה צורתו, therefore it changed, so it tried to say that there are cases we should say בורא פרי אדמה, but it's a very serious discussion. It's a matter of fact that my dear friend, Rabbi David Yosef, the son of the late Rav Ovadia Yosef, he wrote in a book called Halacha Brura, in a Chelek Yud, in a section 10, he get haskama, he get a letter of approbation from his late father, the great Rav Ovadia Zatzal, for the book, particularly for that chapter. So that chapter he discussed bamba. Israeli bamba, I know that you recognize that, is basically the nash, the Israeli nash that based on corn. So he hold that gargerei tiras, that pieces of corn, meshanet surato, it changed its appearance, and therefore he has a notion, is that considering a botnim, like nuts, is that considering tiras, like a corn? He hold that it doesn't have the taste of corn, and therefore he hold that one should do shehakol niya bidvaro for the bamba. Not just that, it tried to bring a serious notion that if one makes borei pri adama, is bracha levatala, is in a way blessing in vain. In general, one should know that with all those modern companies, there is a serious issue, especially among the Haredim. The idea is that you take those bugs free. So in one hand, there is a Torah, a biblical prohibition against eating any form of bugs. On the other hand, all the chomrei adbara, all these materials that they use in order to get rid of those microscopic bugs, can have a side effect, which is people who eat it can get all kind of diseases. So there is, I heard it from Rav Amar, but not only him, others hold that one should be very careful with these things, which means on one hand you want to take something that is bug free, on the other hand you have to make sure when you're buying something that you clean it thoroughly and properly, that also those materials that they use, chomrei adbara, all these in a way pest control materials, can be a double sword effect that can hit your body, because your body system is not ready to digest such a materials that contain chomrei adbara. So it's a kind of double sword issue, and one should be very careful when eating it. Oily miyitzri, the one hand should not have bugs, on the other hand should be free from all these poison materials that involve with those. Anyway, די קנה מדיקטני דומיה דסלעים שמה מינה. יחי אפילו פחות מכאן נמי. So they said, הנו נגני דארעה מיקרו שדרי דארעה מיקרו. So they basically call cracks of the earth, and these rocks are called spines of the earth. So since they are considered standard features of the field and do not constitute separate areas, they are consecrated together with the rest of the field. And that's the way the Rashbam explained to us, that you cannot measure it separately. He said here, "Have יותר מארבעה קווים לא מקבל לוקח." So now there is a book called, I just touch, שמועת חיים על ערכין, חלק ב' סימן י"א. He speaks that even more than ארבעה קווים, they still part of נגלה ושער דהרה. The whole idea, he tried to say that the לוקח, the purchaser, wants to get קרקע טובה, wants to get high quality estate, and basically taking something that carry crevices or rocks, people don't like to take. So that's basically he brings from the Rambam in Perek Dalet Erkin. The same applies to Hilchot Mechira. Anyway, the concept of how a persons make those here's the language of the Rashbam, Hilchot Mechira 28. When one sells a field that has crevices 10 handbreadth deep, they are not sold together with it, even if they are not filled with water. If they are not 10 handbreadth deep, then even if they are filled with water, they are sold together with the rest of the field. That's basically the view of the Rav Papa. Anyway, so they said, Hachamai, Amar Rav Papa, אף על פי שאין מלאי מים, מהי טעמה, אין אדם רוצה שייתן מעותיו במקום אחד, ויראו לו כשניים ושלושה מקומות. So it goes, one location is crevices, another location it's fitting, not fitting for sewing, it's arduous effort and people don't like to do that. מתקיף לרבינה, בדומה דסלעים קטן הם הסלעים דלאו בני זריאנינו, אף הנן דלאו בני זריאנינו. So the Gemara said כי קטן דומיה דסלעים. הפחות מכאן, so basically they dealing with a less than 10 handbreadth deep. So in such a case, even they are not fit for sowing, they are measured along with the rest of the field. So the Mishnah said if it was less than that, פחות מכאן, if it's less than 10 handbreadth, so נמדדין עמה. So they measure together with the rest of the field. אמר רבי יצחק תרשים שאמרו בית 4 קבין. אמר רב עוקבא בר חמא והוא שמובלעים ב5 קבין. רבי חייא בר אבא אמר רבי יוחנן והוא שמובלעים ברובה של שדה. בא רבי חייא בר אבא רובן במיעוטה ומיעוטן ברובה מהו? So you ask a question, how you treated if the majority of the rocks are scattered throughout the small part of the field, and the minority of the rocks are scattered throughout the greater part of the field, and he left it unsolved. Teiku. Ba'e Rabbi Yirmiyah, page 103b. Kashir mahu, keshura mahu. So if the rock scattered throughout the greater part of the field but not arranged like a ring, what's the halacha? And he said, it's tidinin ma'u, derech hakalaton ma'u, teiku. So he asked if it's like a raw, if the rocks from the angle, so like a crook path, he left it unresolved. Now the Rambam in Perek Kafchet Hilchot Mechira, he said that it was 5 things. I'm just reading the Rambam. He says, או שהיו מחולקים כמו חוט שווה, או כמו עגול, או כמו משולש, או שהיו בצדדים, או שהיו דרך הקלטון. So, Rabbi Brumberg Zatzal, he, in a book called Har HaMelech, wrote a comment on that, and he said that he juxtaposed the two, and he brings the Rav Hai Gaon in Shita Mekubetzet that hold that it's actually 5, not 4. Anyway, Tana, אם היה סלע יחידי אפילו כלשהו אין נמדד עמה, ואם היה סמוך למיצר אפילו כלשהו נמדד עמה. ברב פאפה מופסק כפר בינתיים מהו? So if he said if the earth intervenes between the rocks and the border field so that the rock does not actually touch the border, left it teiku, unsolved. So the Yerushalmi said here, kol shemachresha sobevavto. So he said, the Marei Panim bring the Bet Yosef in Siman Reish Yudchet, bring the Ran, and said, Velo itparish b'Gemara, doesn't say clearly in the text, kama afar mafsik by, how much dirt you need in between, אבל בירושלמי פירשו דכל שהמחרשה סובבתהו זה באמצע. So the idea is, כל שהמחרשה סובבתו, that's basically, according to Yerushalmi, the middle one. So in other words, the Yerushalmi does solve this issue. by רב אשי, עפר מלמטה וצולמה למעלה, עפר מלמעלה וצולמה מלמטה, מהו תיקו. Mishnah. Here we are in the Mishnah, dealing again, Masar Matan, selling of the Beit Kurafar, and they deal with the final result of that sale. Beit Kurafar אני מוכר לך מידה בחבל. So he said, I'm selling you a plot of earth in the size of a bed core, measure precisely with a rope. פיחת כלשהו ינקה, אותי כלשהו יחזיר. If he gave even less than slighter the amount that he was clearly stipulated, so the seller must deduct the difference. If he gave more, so he must return the difference to the seller, the buyer. והיא אמר, הן חסר הן יתר, אפילו פחת רוב הלסה, אותי רוב הלסה הגיעו. If he said more or less, then even, so then it's not a issue, יותר מכאן יעשה חשבון. But if you make a more in a calculation, so he needs to go and clearly, since he said the greater the that, he needs to make a calculation. The party that suffer a loss must be compensated. מה הוא מחזיר לו? What exactly he compensated? So they said מעות, he gives money. ואם רצה מחזיר לו קרקע. If you wish, instead of giving a surplus land, he needs to give a return eminent land to him. ולמה אמרו לו מחזיר מעות? So why he said that they return money? ליפות כוחו שמחר, to enhance the power of the seller, enable him to demand payment for the surplus land rather than to accept it in return. שאם שיער בשדה בית 9 קבין ובגינה בית חצי קב, כדברי רבי עקיבא בית רובע, מחזיר לו את הקרקע, ולא את הרובע בלבד הוא מחזיר לו. It's not only the quarter cab that he returned to him, rather he returns כל המותר, all the surplus. Why? Because since you already require to make a refund, the refund must be made in a precise amount. Ibaya lehu. The Gemarrah asks a question, Beit kor stam amai. So if he says he is selling a beit kor of land, but he didn't specify what exactly involved with it. What's exactly the measure? So they said, Tashma beit kor afar ani mocher lach mida bechevel. So which means measure precisely with a rope. The Gemarrah said, pachot, page 104, pachot kolshehu ינקה. יתר כלשהו יחזיר, הסתמה, כחסר הן יתר דמי. אימה סבבים, אמר לו אין חסר הן יתר, אפילו פיחד רוב הלסה אותי רוב הלסה הגיעו, הסתמה בידה בחבל דמי, אלא מה, ליקה למשמע מינה. Fine. You don't have precise word, you don't have estimate. תשמע, בית קור עפר אני מוכר לך, כבית קור עפר אני מוכר לך, הן חסר הן יתר אני מוכר לך, אפילו פיחד רוב הלסה אותי רוב הלסה הגיעו. אלמן סתם נעמי, הן חסר הן יתר דמי. למסכת הפירוש כמפרש, זהו בית קור שהיא כבית קור, כגון שאמר לי, הן חסר הן יתר. מה תקיף לרב אשי, אם כן, אני מוכר לך, למה לי? אלא לאו שמע מינה, סתם נמי, כהן חסר בהן יתר דמי, שמע מינה, and tomorrow, מרצה שם, we elaborate on that.